Well, hey everybody, good to see you. Welcome back. We're going to go for part 1A. That's what I'm going to title this. So you had Fingerstyle Guitar number 1. We'll do Fingerstyle Guitar number 1A because we want to keep it in the 1 series. So in order for us to get through the tune that we started, that's how we're going to kind of letter these, because I got to looking at this a little bit earlier today, and I realized that there's more chunks in this song than I thought there was. So, and we don't want to eat this whole thing all at one time, and we don't want to put too much in there at once. And the idea is to keep them rather short, give you something to work on, and so that's the goal we're headed for. So, hope you all had a great week, and we'll dive right into this. Okay. Now, last week you've all had a week to practice this. For those of you that are hanging in there and you want to learn this tune, but not so much this tune as fingerstyle, okay? So you want to learn fingerstyle. And this is a good little tune to help you do a little bit of stretching. So it takes practice, lots of practice. That's all right though, because you like practicing. One thing we didn't talk about last week, a lot of people like to use these thumb picks, okay? Can you see that thumb pick right there? I got another one here. It's the same kind, but I took a file to it and I filed it down. Okay. And there's a reason why I did that. And since I don't want to scratch this guitar up really bad, I'll use this one that I filed down. Okay. One reason people use that is because that bass note really rings out when you do it. Hear that? Matter of fact, it requires a little bit of a discipline there. Well, when I hold a pick, I'm used to hanging on to it. Well, that kind of almost eliminates my forefinger from being used, and I have never been able to get out of that habit. I'm going to be honest with you, I hadn't put a lot of effort into it. To me, that sounds sloppy. It sounds sloppy because I'm doing it. If you go listen to somebody else that's good with thumb picks, they're great with them, and you can't tell it, and they get a really good bass note. I got used to beginning fingerstyle just using my bare fingers, and it's because of the first guy I ever heard talk about it. That's how he did it. Said he liked to feel his fingers up against the strings. I feel the same way, but I got a feeling he influenced me a little bit. But anyway, these are, if you want to start trying and learn right off the bat with finger picks, you're going to get past this pain. You'll get past it. But if you want to use finger pick, these are Dunlops. They make them. It's because when you put them on, they Dunlopped over your thumb. Yeah, I know, it's hilarious, isn't it? All right, it's the only joke I think I've got for the night. But anyway, there you go. That's as good as it gets, I'm afraid. For when I was a kid, my dad called me a commodian. I thought, well, that's interesting. He must not think I'm very funny. And based off of... well, never mind. I don't think he thought I was funny at all. So after a little while, and I got a little older, I realized, there's a time and a place for cutting up. And anyway, we won't get into that. But so what we learned last week. One other quick thing. Playing music, okay? So if you've played any rhythm guitar or done any lead guitar or any of that kind of thing, you've played with other people probably before in your life and sat around and played. Somebody inevitably wants to take the thing over, and they have to be the ones to shine, right? You run across that more than you would like to run across that. It's not good. At least I don't think it is. There's a place for everybody when you're sitting in kind of a jam session. But my goal from day one was just to contribute. I wasn't looking to become Jimmy Page. I wasn't looking to become Chet Atkins, any other great guitarists out there. I just wanted to contribute. And then I got a little older, and then I realized that's really the sweet spot to be. If you're playing with others, find a place to just contribute and make it better. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care what you're doing in life. Hopefully you're contributing to make something a little better. We've never talked about what I do for a living, and we're not going to. And there's some reasons behind that, but I will say that with my day job, so to speak, I want to make a contribution. I want to be able to help others be better, right? And the same thing ought to be true with our instrument playing. We should want to make a contribution and be a little bit of a part of something, as opposed to everywhere we go, we got to be the main act, whatever. So just a little 101, have the proper perspective, the right attitude, and you will have a lot of fun playing guitar over the years. But I'm talking to people that already know how to make chords, and they've been playing for probably a little while anyway. Yeah, I'm sure you already know this, but I just wanted to bring that up. To me, it's all about making a contribution. I'm not saying that there's not show-stopping people out there playing guitar, and they're very good at what they do, and everybody kind of plays around them, and I get that. And they built a career out of it and done quite nicely at it, and fantastic. I'm so happy for them. But for the other 99.9% of those who play music, or in particular play guitar, have a right perspective about contributing, right? I mean, one of the reasons I want to learn how to play fingerstyle is because I rarely sit and play with anybody anymore. It's mostly just me. So I need to be able to kind of be all these characters at once. There's a YouTube channel I found recently, and I love this guy, man. He's a production genius, in my opinion. I'm going to drop a link to him in this video, okay? His name's Michael, and he is hilarious, but he's also extremely talented. And when you look at some of the video production that he's done with the guitar and musical instruments and drums and all that, very talented guy. But what strikes me about somebody who's able to play all those instruments and then put everything together in a video, doing that, is they have to understand how important it is for each person to make a contribution, even though Michael happens to be all these people in most of the videos, right? But you'll see what I'm saying. Each piece makes a contribution to make up a whole that has a product that in the end puts a smile on somebody's face, right? All right, enough of that. We're going to do A7 tonight. It's not going to take that long. I say tonight. I think I'm going to release this Friday night. I'm making it actually about a week early, but here's what we started with. So we're going to do this very slowly, one time. And that's where we left it, okay? All right, so that's what we started with. Now, immediately after we finished that E, the very last note we hit was that number 4 bass note. Then we're going to do our open A7, and by open A7 I mean number 1 string is open, number 2 has our ring finger on it, okay? 2nd fret, number 3 is open, number 4, number 2 fret, number 4, yeah, is our middle finger. All right, this finger right here, this 4 fingers, not doing anything, just hanging out, keeping the other ones honest. So right after we hit that bass note on that E, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our middle finger down in that open A. We just make our open A and lift our ring finger, because what we're going to do is another one of those hammer-ons. We're going to pull up on the number 2 string, and we know which finger that is on our picking hand. We talked about that last week. So our middle finger, it's always going to be our middle finger for our purposes here. And we're going to do a hammer-on and a number 5 bass note. Okay? Now, I mentioned this last week, but we got 3 bass notes on this open A7, okay? 5, 4, 6, 4. 5, 4, 6, 4. Every time you hit a bass note, every other one's going to be number 4. 5, 4, 6, and then we're going back to 4, and then we're going to go to 5, and then we're going to go to 4, and then we're going to go to 6, then we're going to go to 4. So every other bass note is 4. We lead with number 5 because we're in an A chord, and A is the root note here, okay? The root bass note, or the bass note for the A chord, right there. Hear that? All right, so make your A7. You've just come out of your E with your number 4 bass note right there with your ring finger, okay? On your E chord, on your fretting hand. Now, the next thing we're going to do is transition out right down. We're just going to move those 2 down and skip a string, right? We got our open A, and now we're going to pick up on the number 2 string, and then we're going to do a hammer-on. Okay, right on that number 2 fret, okay? And we are going to do our number 5 bass note at the hammer-on. Then we're going to pick up our number 1 string, which is open. And then we're going to do a little pinching. Remember we did some pinching last week? We're going to do a little pinching this week. Pinching, pinching, pinching. You get the idea. Pinch. You ever been pinched? Yeah, there you go. Every St. Patrick's Day, I guess, somebody gets pinched. There you go, right there. Do that hammer on. Pick up the number 1 string. Yeah. Hammer on, bass note, number 5 bass note. Pick up on number 1. Then you are going to lay your little finger down on the number 1 string, number 2 fret. And you're going to pinch. You haven't hit your number 4 bass note yet. Now you're going to pinch number 4 and number 1 with your little finger laying down on the number 2 fret. Number 1 string. Got that? Now, you did your pinch. Move your little finger up. Leave your open A in place. Move your little finger up to the 3rd fret, 1st string. And since we've already hit number 5 and number 4, next bass note's going to be number 6. Now we're going to hit our number 6 bass note after we pull up on those 2 number 1 and number 2 strings, and we're swiping them with that ring finger. Then we're going to go back to number 4. We just did with 6 bass note. The next bass note is 4. Let's do this together. Pick up number 2, number 5 bass note, and your number 1 string with your little finger still on that 3rd fret, number 1 string. Pick up number 2, pinch number 5 and number 1. And we'll stop right there for a second. Now let's do this really, really slowly, okay? So here we go. You ready? Let's do it again. Okay? Now, once we do that piece right there, we're going to pick up on that number 2 again. move our pinky down to the number 2 fret and pinch number 1 and number 4. So first we're pinching number 5 on the number 3 fret with our little finger. Pick up number 2, pinch number 4 and number 1. Okay? Now let's take it that far from the beginning. Okay? Everybody good? It's all right. You got a rewind button. You'll get it. Okay. One more time. Then, right after you swipe, hit that number 6 bass note. Okay. After you hit that number 1 bass note or number 6 bass note, hit the number 2 string. And then your number 4 bass note. Because 6 was the last bass note, so the next bass note is going to be number 4. Now, let's do this slow, because I know when other people do it slow and I'm watching a video trying to learn a song or something, they'll walk off and leave me and they're crawling like a turtle. That's how it goes, isn't it? You ready? Let's do it again. Did you get it? Okay. Now we've walked completely through that. If you need to rewind it, watch it again, rewind it and watch it again. I'll do it one more time and then we'll take it from E to the end of that A right there. Okay. Now, let's go to the E, and I'm going to play it slowly up through the end of that open A7 run, okay? And we will stop right there. Now, when we get to the E, you get a little umph in there, and then no, I don't really know what umph is. I can't really describe it, but it's a good feeling. And then when we go to the B7, it gets. I really love that. I love that old school blues stuff. I absolutely love it. To me, that's just fun. It's just fun, and it makes you feel good, and it's very enjoyable to play, and it's easy for a rhythm guitarist to get in there. Just love that stuff. It's just something about it. To me, it relaxes me. Anyway, take care of your friends. Take care of your family. God bless. We'll see you next time.